Simgigiat, Sigidem Hanak, and Hanitus Ubawilsasu. Spa last why it's in Wilps, Simuts in will lose witwi. I'm a survivor of the missing and murdered. I was almost murdered when I was 23 years old in Vancouver. I just remember waking up on this couch and I felt something cut my leg. That's what woke me up. And I remember looking down. I was laying on the couch and I looked down and all I could see was these shoulders that were 4 feet wide, this big bald head, and it looked like he had no shirt on. And I saw him cutting my pants off, and that's what woke me up, was when he cut my leg with these big gardening shears. And I remember my mother's words. She said to me, if your life is ever in danger, she said, tell them what they want to hear. And so I looked, I didn't want to startle him, so I cleared my voice, I cleared my throat. And he looked up at me, and when our eyes met, I saw the vacancy in his eyes, and my heart came up to my throat. You know, he looked like something was missing with him. And I just remember, I said to him, oh, you didn't have to do that. I like you. I'll be with you. I said, I just need to go to the bathroom. And so he stood up and his whole demeanor kind of just changed, like calm. And he said, you just go through the kitchen and the bathroom's right there. And I remember swinging my legs over, sitting up and swinging my legs over to my right. And there was a coffee table. And on that coffee table, I had enough time to look and see what was on there. There was a handsaw. There was like a sledgehammer that had half of the handle cut off. And there were knives there. And I just started to pray, Creator, please help me, please help me. Help me get out of this situation. I was looking for the exit and I saw the door. It was only a couple of feet away from the bathroom door. I walked into the bathroom and I left the door open so that I could see where I was going to run. I looked around in the bathroom and I saw his robe. And when I tried his robe on, he was such a big man that there was like about 1.5 feet of his robe lying around on the floor. And so I ended up just pulling off the tie and I tied my hands up with it. I opened the door, I ran out the door and I just left that door open. When I got outside, I realized that we were in the middle of the forest. We were in the middle of nowhere. And my heart just sank and I thought, oh God, I'm not going to have time to get away. Where do I go? And so I started listening and I heard what sounded like traffic going this way and I saw a dirt road there. I started to run and I was looking left and right to see, okay, well, if he comes, I'm going to run into the bushes. And what I had realized that it was winter in Vancouver and that I could see right through all of those trees. There was no leaves on those trees. And so I just kept running and I ran so long and so, I ran for a long time and until I finally reached the highway. I just remember it being such a wide highway. I ran across it and I just in my back of my mind, I kept thinking, he's coming, he's going to come after me. And so then I got to the other side of the road and I was walking and not even like a minute later, all of a sudden I heard a vehicle coming behind me. I thought, oh God, that's him. And so the car that pulled up beside me and I just looked and then I kept walking and the guy rolled down his window and he said, can I give you a ride? And in my mind, this was another man that was going to kill me because I was so afraid. This was all was on my mind was to get away. And I turned to him and I looked at him. I said, "No, you're going to kill me." And I started to cry. And he said, "I don't want to hurt you." He said, "All I want to do is give you a ride." And I just continued walking. So he pulled off about 10 feet ahead of me. He stopped and he asked again, "Can I give you a ride?" And I remember just feeling so defeated. I just remember thinking, okay, this is how our women feel when they have no choice and they just give in. And so I said, okay, I guess I'm dead. I got into the back of his vehicle and he drove me home.